My name is Jeff Smith. I'm the Security and Transportation Manager for the Savannah College of Art and Design. After I was in the Army for 7 years, and then when I got out of the Army, I became a police officer here with the City of Savannah. Went to college, got a degree in criminal justice, and always had a passion for that kind of work. And an opportunity became available here at SCAD, and it was just another way to help be a positive influence on people. In comparing us to other colleges here in Savannah, it's a completely different environment. You know, Savannah State, Armstrong, South University, Georgia Southern, they all kind of have a traditional campus. So, you know, there's a little bit, a little difference in just how people feel and react to that in general. One of the things that we've been doing is we will hold focus groups and do surveys with the students to try to see what it is exactly that causes these feelings. And what we've found is that when it comes to residence halls and academic buildings, people feel safe. Most of the time when they feel unsafe is when they're traveling around at night, walking around downtown. So, which poses a little bit of a problem to us since we're a private security company as opposed to a police department. So one of the things that we've done is we incorporated the transportation office with the security office. So now that there's a lot of things that we can do to work together to provide safe transportation for students, and we've been working really hard at doing that. And one of the things that we've done, we're changing transportation vendors in the fall, and they're giving us a real-time GPS system called Translog.
Awesome.
And it's you go to the website, it'll be scad.translog.com, and it'll have a map of downtown, it'll have the bus routes, and it'll have little bubbles representing the buses driving around, so that if you're working late in Gulfstream or Montgomery or wherever, you can just pop it up on the computer, you can pop it up on your internet-enabled phones, and it'll tell you where the bus is, so that you're not trying to guess or having to stand outside and wait. You can see when it's coming, so that way they can stay within that secure environment. We outsource all our security services through a company called Allied Partner, and so they do all the HR type stuff. But basically, they have drug screenings, background checks. They have a whole list of things that if they come up on your background check, you're disqualified. They go through about a week's worth of initial training, about 40 hours or so of initial training, which covers basic security guard activities and requirements, a special section devoted specifically to colleges and universities, talking about some of the things that security guards will encounter in that environment versus working at a bank or things like that. They do continuous training on pretty much a weekly basis, where it's worksheets, read some books, and then they have an overall training program that allows them to go through different steps, like security officer level 1, security officer level 2, things like that. They've actually won several awards from Training Magazine and things like that on the quality of their training. So it's a pretty impressive system that they have in place. Well, as we continue to grow, we're continually implementing more security cameras, call boxes. We're trying to upgrade the access control, which is it's a big part of it, considering how our campus is set up. We're changing some hardware and things like that to make it more reliable and functional a lot better. As the nature of the college changes, the size and things like that, we continually reassess and do risk assessments of buildings and things like that. And so as those things change, we adapt and make the changes that we need to make sure that everyone is safe while they're here. Yes, actually we do. We have a class called Be Safe. It's a crime prevention workshop. It's actually going to be part of the FYE course, so we're going to be offering that a whole bunch. But it's still open to anyone that would want to come. We have our RADS, Rape Aggression Defense System, self-defense class for women that we offer once a quarter, unless we have a need for giving it more. If we have more students sign up than we're able to teach in one class, then we'll obviously schedule another class. We have our a SAFE class, which is Sexual Assault Familiarization Exchange, which is very similar to the RADS class. It's just a little bit shorter. So, but it covers a lot of the main information, like the 4 R's, which is risk awareness, risk reduction, risk recognition, and risk avoidance. And we talk about things to different tools that go along with that, so that you can keep yourself safe, because that's one of the main things. Security it's a very participatory process. We can have all this stuff, but if you leave the door unlocked, well, you've broken the first link in the chain. So, risk awareness, just really knowing what's going on, know where you're at. Traditionally, anywhere in the world, war crime occurs later in the evening than it does at 7 in the morning. So, being aware of things like that, keeping an eye on local news, but don't get too wrapped up in it, because it gets a little sensationalized. But just see what some of the trend patterns and things like that are. Another good place to stay aware is the Savannah Police website, savannahpd.org. They have an interactive crime map, and so you can pull it up, and I think it's got a 28-day history. So you can type in an address and bring up a map, and it'll show you all the Part 1 crimes that occurred, within whatever radius you put in. So you can kind of see what's going on. And it's also a good tool, like if you're looking for an apartment off campus or something like that. You can kind of get a feel for the neighborhood. Risk recognition, that boils down to just kind of listen to that voice in your head. If it doesn't look right, it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Risk reduction is just simple strategies like always locking your doors, always locking up your valuables, don't leave them laying out in a common area, letting people know where you're going if you're going out, go out with friends, those kinds of things. And then risk avoidance is exactly what it says. If you sense a risk, take a step to avoid it. One of the biggest examples of that is you're standing there waiting for the elevator opens up, and there's somebody in there that you just get a bad feeling about. Don't get in the elevator. That's avoiding that risk instead of putting yourself in a situation that may not be a good situation to be in. From like the emergency alert system, the Connect Ad, which it's very important to keep that information up to date, because if you get a new cell phone and things like that, if we need to get a message out really quick, that's our main means of doing that. Aside from that, the translock system that we're putting in place will have a message system, so that if you pull that up, it'll have messages and things like that, so that if buses are delayed or there's a route change or something like that, that's going to be posted there. On the front page of MySCAD, we have a security and transportation feed that we can put information in the same way, so that as you log into MySCAD, if there's something new, something changing, that information's there. We're on Twitter, on both security and transportation, so that's a good way to get quick messages about quick changes, or just security tips in general. So and then as the media that students use changes, we'll adapt and